marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all our South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined live and in studio by the one and only Sharon McNamara.
Good morning.
Good morning. Every time I say that, I think in my head, is she the one and only? But she's my one and only. There might be another Sharon McNamara somewhere out there.
I think there is. I think that actually she's a stager or something. I don't know where she lives, but...
Oh, I feel like there was some sort of confusion or something at one point.
No, this is a fun story, though.
Okay,
I'm so
here's
glad
a fun
that you
story.
brought it up. I love
Thank
that our
you.
music is in the background there, too. So good morning to our one and only Tim. There is only one Tim
Good
McKinney
morning.
in my eyes.
Yeah, there's only one.
Oh,
There's
thank
only
you.
one Tim.
No, there is more than one Tim McKinney. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
I've Googled it. I'm like, I think there's a golfer, there's a skateboarder.
Which one would you want to
my
be?
There's
name.
a doctor. Yes.
Yeah, which one would you want to be? If you could be any of those other Tim McKinneys, which one would you be? Would you be the golfer, the skateboarder, or the doctor?
Yeah.
Which one would you be?
I would be the
I don't know,
golfer.
maybe. Yeah, I think I'd be the golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can make good money in golf.
And warm
Yes.
climate.
And and you're doing something that you love.
Yeah, why be a doctor? You're near sick people all the time. Ugh.
You work such long hours.
Yeah, skateboarding, you could break a leg. Yep, golf
Right,
it is.
yeah.
Golf it is.
So we got your future planned out for you. We have your next life planned out for you, Tim
my
McKinney.
next life. There's also a psychologist, too.
Yeah, you want to listen to other people's
Sharon
problems.
Stein McNamara.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sharon.
there you go.
Oh, for me or for you?
Yeah, I did a little search on
Oh,
you.
yeah. Okay, yeah. What else comes up?
And you said someone on a stagehand?
Stager.
Yep,
Like a
yep.
stager. A stager.
Yeah,
They do staging.
They worked on Bulletproof Heart, and You, Me, and the Kids. Yes. People there.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to be there. You know, that whole Hollywood scene, it's a little too much for me.
Are you sticking with Sharon McNamara, broker owner of Boston Connect Real
Pretty,
Estate?
I'm pretty content with me. Yeah, I'm pretty content
I'll
with
have to
who I
Google
am.
myself and see what else is out there.
Yeah, I'm sure Tim can do it. Melissa Wallace. Who else do we have for Melissa Wallace? But I'm happy to be here with you this weekend. Cannot believe we're getting that much closer to Thanksgiving. My goodness,
I know.
You're getting old when you say that. This year flew by. Like, they're just getting shorter and shorter.
Where did the time go?
Where did the time go? I feel like a lot of people are struggling with the time difference now. This year, for some reason, it's like really hitting everybody that it gets dark so early. The other day, I was like, oh, I'm ready for bed. And Ethan's like, we haven't even had dinner yet. What are you talking about? I'm like, I'm just tired. It's just late.
Well, that's what happened when a team member has a baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Surprise.
Surprise. 2 weeks early. So, but it's been great. So
Yeah, it's been
I've
great.
getting all kinds of pictures and stuff like that. So congratulations to the Horton family on the delivery of their bundle of joy.
Yeah, baby Silas.
Silas, yeah, he's so adorable.
He's so stinking cute.
He is really stinking cute.
But yeah.
But like I am definitely in grandma mode. Even though I'm not like a real grandma, but like I feel like one. Well, Mary was telling me that she was going to be giving the baby a bath, and she said that she puts you know the cream and stuff on the baby. You know, you don't want chapped little legs and stuff. And he is a peanut.
Yeah.
And she said he doesn't like that for sure. Like I like to get my daily update, you know. She's like, he doesn't like that. And I said, well, rub your hands with friction, you know what I mean, and make warm up that cream for him and put it on his little legs. Of course he's cold. He was in the warmest climate in the world, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I tried that. So I went on, after we hung up, I went on Amazon and ordered, they have everything now.
Yeah. They have a warmer for everything.
They do. They have a warmer for everything. So it's it warms up the lotion. So
You
I
can
sent
get that for adults too.
Yeah, and oil and stuff,
Yeah.
right? I thought that was more for like massage therapists or whatever, but they have like one for the babies, and so I don't want the baby to
Baby
be.
Silas to be cold.
I don't want him to be cold.
No.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was like my only problem. I had to put on cold lotion today.
Yeah. Well, that would be a great day.
Yeah.
You know, Silas, you got it good.
Yeah.
You got,
Stop your whining, kid.
Just so you know, you got it good. You got great parents. You got a lot of people who love you, and you know, you might get some cold lotion, but there are worse things in the world.
I hope Mary doesn't listen to these repeats.
Oh gosh, yeah, she's a little busy right now. But yeah, so we're back together. You said the other day, you go, who'd you have on last week? And I go, you. We did the show together last week.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. The last week was a blur.
Well, here we are again.
Yeah.
And
You came up with a really good topic though today.
yeah, you were so underwhelmed by it though. I was like,
I was scared by
she's gonna
it.
be great. She's gonna love this.
I do
and
love
you're
it.
like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, where's the fireworks? Where's
Yeah.
the everything?
Yeah, because it's a good one. It's
It is
just
a good
that
one.
I honestly,
We're both tired.
I'm exhausted.
Oh,
but
and by the way, my little tickle from last Saturday when I started the show off
yeah.
with turned into bronchitis.
Yeah.
So there we are. But I haven't been coughing as
you have
much,
to take
which is
better care
good.
of yourself.
Yeah.
You just
Okay.
do.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
do.
I'm going to change up our studio for the new year too. So any of you who are watching us on YouTube, hello to all of you, and you can be possibly streaming. Hello, Dee. Dee is always with us.
Oh, good morning, Dee.
Good morning, Dee. And she's watching us through Facebook, which she does every year, and we're also on Instagram.
Every week.
What did I say?
Every year. I'm sure after
Well,
all
every
these
year
years.
too.
Every
you know.
year too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
more
every week, every
frequently
year.
every week.
Yes, she's a faithful listener, watcher.
Buckle up, everyone, because this might not be a great one.
Take another sip of that caffeine. Jeez, what's going on? God.
I'm more excited about your future, your
Oh.
next life.
Oh, my next life.
As a
Oh,
golfer.
Melissa, I looked you up, and strangely enough, I just put in Melissa Wallace, and on the searches, you're the 1, 2, 3, 4. You're the fourth person on the top.
Wow.
But anyway, the
Can't
first
hear
one
anything on- Go ahead, keep talking.
is works at FDA Detroit Assembly Complex.
Oh.
Next one, Fierce Foundry, New School University. You bring over 25 years of marketing expertise spanning across diverse sectors.
Wow.
And the next one on Instagram, fashion illustrator, fashion designer, and surreal artist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, I think I'll keep my role here of
Okay.
our everything here at
Also in
Boston
New York,
Connect
you
Real
have
Estate.
the Wallace Group, LLC.
Oh, I wonder
Experienced
what they do.
HR leader with a demonstrated history of working in the apparel and fashion world.
Oh, yeah. So it seems like a good, a fashion. I have a fashion background.
You're also an elementary principal, too.
Oh,
Passionate about children.
yeah. I mean, they're great for some people. They're
Okay,
great.
all right.
I wouldn't be a principal though. I couldn't do it. I get too emotionally attached. I wouldn't be good at it. But at least I know that about myself.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'll stick to being our everything at Boston Connect Real Estate. That was my title
Yeah.
given by Sharon.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I'm glad you're happy about that. Me too.
I know. My Clubhouse listeners, I don't know. It's still not working. So sorry about that. So I don't know what the problem is, but Larry fixed it for me recently. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
We'll
User
figure
error
it
for
out.
Sure. Yeah.
But today we are talking about real estate scams, and it's funny because we briefly talked about, okay, what do we want to talk about tomorrow? And we have sort of been two ships passing in the night, even though it's during the day, because we've both just been so busy doing other things and then coming together every so often during the week, the past 2 weeks. And, we sort of briefly talked about what we wanted to discuss today. And, I just sort of Googled, like, what is everybody talking about right now in real estate? Because, we could do so many shows about, what's going on in the market, how, what's this and what's this. But something that I found actually a lot of news articles recently is about real estate scams. And it got me thinking about, the show that we had done before. And I looked back, and we actually haven't done this show for 3 years. which is surprising because, we tend to trend on, okay, what did we do around this time last year? What was really good? And we sort of keep track of, some of the feedback that we get from our shows. And this did have a great we did get great feedback for this one a couple years ago. So I was surprised that we hadn't done it, but here we are. We're doing real estate scams. And I have to say, even here as a real estate company, we get phone calls that sometimes I'm like, this cannot be real life. Like, is someone really trying to do this? And even the other day, I know that you had ended up picking up the phone a couple weeks ago, and they were trying to get you to repeat things, and it was just like weird. And I got a phone call the other day. I think Kristen Howlett, who's a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, I think she was in my office. And they were trying to get me to repeat Boston Connect Real Estate over and over again. And it was this woman, and she was like, "I'm sorry, where are you from? What company is your name?" And I'm like, "Boston Connect Real Estate." And they're like, "I'm sorry, Boston." I go, "Boston Connect Real Estate."
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what's the word after connect? And I was like, "Nope,
Yeah,
I know this."
I'm all
And I
done.
hung up. And I was like, if this woman thinks that I'm rude, she'll call back and she'll say, "Excuse me, I was just talking to you." We'll call back. And guess what? Didn't ring again.
You know what I love? Interesting too, because on my cell phone, it's like listed everywhere as my business phone number.
Mhm.
And, I've been getting a lot of phone calls, and I'm actually not sure if it's a bot. I'm actually convinced that it's a bot. I got one yesterday, and then I tried tricking it up with different questions to see if it was able to answer it quickly.
Mhm.
And bots are they're pretty capable, and I just really truly was not sure if it was a bot. So I just said, just send me an email.
Yeah. That's the thing that makes me nervous, is because sometimes you really just don't know if you're talking to a real person. You don't know if you're getting an email from a real person. Like, there are a lot of automated things out there, or bots, and AI, and impersonating a real human being. And it's interesting because Ethan and I, a couple months ago, sometime over the summer, we went to the Museum of Science. We'd never been
You guys
before.
you do fun things.
We went to the Museum of Science, and there's an AI section, and there's like a wall of like 20 people, and you have to identify the one real person in those 20 people.
It was all about AI.
Yeah, it was
Is
a
it
whole
still
section.
there?
Yeah, it was a whole section about AI.
Oh, I want to
It
do
had
that.
it had the robots, the dog robots that go
Yeah.
like up and down the stairs and stuff like that. But there was a whole section, and
MIT does all that.
yeah, 20 there were 20 people on the wall, and 19
Were
of
you able
them
to
were
pick it out?
AI. No.
It's crazy. I mean, I know that this is a show about real estate, but you know what I love about this real estate show? It's my show, and
Yeah,
I
we
get to
can do
talk
whatever
about
we
what
want.
we can do whatever we want, for the most part, until Tim shuts us off.
Yeah.
I'm sure the things we're not supposed to talk about, but with AI,
Hey, as long as you don't swear, I'm fine.
Okay, we're
Whatever
good with
you
Tim.
say, you want to go talk about something. Speaking of AI, a couple months ago, Oprah hosted a special on ABC on a Wednesday night. You can find it on Hulu.
yeah, I wanted
And
to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, go check it out. She sat down with the creator of ChatGPT, Bill Gates, and some other people too, and she did a nice deep
I'm
dive.
sure.
and, like,
I'm pretty sure she didn't meet with Elon.
no,
Probably
he
not.
was not there. No.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, though. I mean, because look at where we are in this, we're not going to get into politics for sure, but where we are in our world, where we actually need another committee based on just AI and, and tech, right? IT and all that other stuff, and making sure there are perimeters put around things to make us safe. Because I'll tell you, it's really nerve-wracking to think about what AI can do.
Well, it's nerve-wracking because think about all of these things, and I'm just going to celebrities right now because they're so, they're in the
yeah.
media, but
Britney.
think about all these things that have been or been put out, like videos and pictures and stuff, and you really don't know if they're true or not. So, but people can get into serious trouble if you can't really determine if something is real.
Yeah.
And, there's, high profile cases that we follow.
Yes.
And there's some things that come out and we're like, is that real? Like, you're starting to question, like, this can't be real. Is it real? No. And so, how does that look when it goes into court?
And that's, part of our conversation. That's what our conversation is today. It's about real estate scams and how easy it is to scam people out of their home and to scare people, just scam people in general. There's different ways of doing it. And I know, I'm sure it's in your agenda here because, this is the first time in a long time I've actually walked into the studio and said, what's our topic today? Because I have zero clue. And, now my head is thinking about different things that have happened to us.
Yeah.
And, there was one, I won't jump to that yet. No.
You're talking about the rental?
No, nope. We had that rental one, but the one with the money, transferring the money, with Mary that time. Do you want me to jump into that one?
Yeah, you can. It is on our agenda, so jump into it.
Sure. And if you have any questions for us, whether it's about this topic or any other topics, please feel free to give us a buzz. We're here live in studio today. Excuse me, and Kermit the Frog. That's stuck in my throat there. 781-837-4900. 781-837-4900. You can also text to that phone number. That goes right to the WATD studio, and they will get your question over to me. But one of the scams that happened and what you have to be so careful about, and I'll tell you, it's actually a policy in our office. And I know that real estate agents, as a broker of our company, I have really, I feel, done as I've been, as not I, but as we have been building this company and growing this, our small little boutique here, the liability, those risks that, they become real. And, when it comes to E&O insurance, which is very, very expensive, that's our errors and omissions insurance. Yeah, put a policy in place that our agents have to use our email. So I have Microsoft Office, and I have to tell you, you sent me a meme one time, and it was hilarious. But it's like I spent the majority of my day today in the that author. I can't say that word though. I can't say
authentication.
The MS thing.
Yeah.
I can't not say that word. Some people can't say aluminum. I can say that perfectly fine. That other word I can't say. Authentication, something like that. It comes up, so like you have to get into Microsoft, you have to put in the numbers and all this other stuff. And I know it's annoying, but it's there for a reason. And it's there to protect, our email system. And I have made it a policy here at our office that our agents are required to use our Boston Connect email. And I know that a lot of agents get a little wiggy about that. Listen, I barely have time to go through my own email. So as your broker, I have no intentions of going through yours.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not cleaning up your mailbox when I have my own. And the reason for that is because I know that I do have all the protections that I need on our email system. So if anything should happen, I know that our E&O insurance will cover it. So I just say for company, I know a lot of agents that are in different companies listen to our show. And if that's one of your fears, I think that you should, one, rethink about who you're working for, and two, maybe have a conversation with your manager saying, hey, I'm happy to use this, but I want some type of contract put in place that like you're not going to be, promoting to my clients or going through my email and stuff like that. So anyways, that's just my little advice there. But the reason sometimes, and I still think of it, so somebody gave me their email recently and it was like Hotmail or Yahoo or something, and they don't AOL, they just don't have the same protections. And although that those sites were really good back in 1992, I don't think that they've really been able to keep up with the technology at the pace that it has gone. So this was several years ago because we were in the other building, and Mary and I had a couple of closings that had happened. And so obviously it was the end of the month. Maybe it's not obvious to everybody, but it was the end of the month. And Mary had been going back and forth with the people, and she did make a comment one time that she didn't feel as if the attorney was actually being very proactive or talking, and just through the whole thing, she just thought that it was just this weird thing. And we had the closing, we were holding the check, we were waiting for, so this is pre-COVID, we were waiting for the seller to come to our office to pick up their proceeds check. It was like $140-something thousand, right? Wasn't it? Like $145,000, let's just say, I'll round it. So we were holding the check, and we were just out back having lunch. And the attorney called Mary, and she said, Mary, I can't wire you those funds now because I've already issued you a check. And even though we were holding the check, the attorneys are not, the check has left the office,
Yeah.
like, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because again, you have mobile deposits, you have so many different ways.
Yeah.
Even though you have the check in your hand, it doesn't mean that it wasn't deposited somewhere. So that is a policy that many people have. And Mary's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, well, I just got an email from you, and it said, can you please wire the funds instead to the seller? And Mary's like, no, that wasn't me. I'm sitting here waiting for the seller to come. I have the check in my hand. So we pulled up the email, and immediately, like, that type of stuff makes me nervous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Listen, it's like someone's going through your underwear drawer, like,
Yeah.
get out of there.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. You should be looking at any of that stuff in my email. Right? So I called my IT guy, and he logged on to our computers from wherever he was, and he was able to track it back all the way to almost the very beginning of the transaction. And it started with the attorney's email. Like, the attorney had used like AOL, right?
Yeah.
Had used AOL as an email account. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Well, can't you just buy like a domain and
Yeah.
get a free email account with it?
Yeah. It was that the attorney's email had been hacked. The AOL account had been hacked, and they had sent an email and sent the email to Mary's, like a fake email address for Mary. So it was like
Mary dot Boston. No,
yeah.
Mary dot Boston Connect.
Mary.BostonConnect at BostonConnect.com. It was just like, or it's like something
Like A2143.
it was like something. It looked legit, but they had a conversation going back and forth, and so when Mary used her real email to send an email, it was like she didn't get all the whole backstory. So that was why she was like, what is with this attorney, like not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, when really the attorney had been communicating with somebody impersonating Mary, but they had done that by hacking into the attorney's email.
And they went all the way back.
Yeah.
So this is
and they knew, and the reason why it got caught is because the sort of at the last minute, they had decided to push the closing, and it wasn't in an email. It was through communicating through the phone.
Yeah.
That I don't remember if it was a day or it was a time. It might have been the same time, but they like pushed it from like 10 to 11 or something. So because it was, a little bit earlier or later, that's why Mary had the check. If it had been later, they could have gotten the wire.
Yeah. Crazy. And then another one we had that was similar to that. And too, it's just amazing to think that the whole entire time the attorney thought that she was talking to Mary.
Yeah.
And Mary's on the other side saying, why isn't this attorney ever like responding to me?
So she probably showed up to the closing like, seriously, what did you even do? And meanwhile, she's like, what's up with this agent? She doesn't like me or something.
I know.
She
probably thought Mary wasn't doing her job.
Yeah, seriously.
But they were impersonating Mary, so they were responding, which is absolutely frightening. And that's $143,000. And then we had another situation just a couple years ago, and one of our agents had a listing, and they were at the home inspection, and the buyer had asked, can I wire the funds for the second deposit to you? Because our policy in our office, by the way, because of scams, is that we have a certified check for that second deposit. And this, the buyer had asked our listing, the agent that works here at Boston Connect, hey, can I wire the funds? And she said, I'm sorry, our office doesn't wire funds. And I know that frustrates a lot of people, but you know what? Wires disappear in the middle of nowhere. So I just don't like that option. We have other options that we feel are safe and more secure. So we do offer those. But he heard her say that. He heard her. And he said, okay. And then, lo and behold, somebody tapped into his email, sent him an email with wire instructions on how to wire the funds for the second deposit. And he did.
Which was $70,000.
$70,000. And he was an attorney.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not giving who the agent is here or the address or what town or anything, because I don't, I don't want to make anybody feel any way. I don't know what that way would feel, but so awful, just awful. And he said, as soon as he pushed the button, he felt it.
Yeah,
he just
something wasn't
felt
right.
it. And you know what? That's all it takes is pushing that button and you're done, Hey, and I got to tell you, that P. Diddy stuff, then that was out there. I was intrigued by it, and I was just like, I had X up and they're like, P. Diddy this, P. Diddy that. And I pushed a button and it was like, you have been hacked. And I was like, oh, great, because I wanted to watch a video.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to watch a freaky video.
No, we wanted to watch a news video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went down the rabbit hole with that one for a while.
Yeah, so.
We haven't caught up on that, but...
I'm sure Mark is watching for us.
Oh, my gosh, Mark. Poor Mark has to deal with us.
I know. So that was another one, and that's money, and that's like real money. It's gone. And then, thankfully for those people that were purchasing that they had, $70,000 is
a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. And for a lot of people, I would say most, that would be the end of that real estate transaction for them. But they were able to, borrow the funds, come up with the funds, whatever the heck it was. They were able to still get that deposit to us because we're saying, like, oh, we still need the deposit.
Yeah.
But they love their home. At the end of the story, hey, it's a good story. They love their home. Their deposit was $140,000. They paid $70,000 more for their house, and I'm sure they've made that up by now.
Yeah. Let us pray. Sorry.
You're not even Catholic.
I know.
That was funny.
Well, yeah, that one was bad. I remember like hearing it and I'm like, my heart just sank. Just sank. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
what?
I know.
I'm sorry, what? So that's a form of a scam. So it's not just, I mean, we all get the phone calls. Oh, I'm calling about your extended warranty. I'm calling about this. Oh, are you registered this? I'm glad that the political things are over. I can't take it anymore in the text messages. But it's all these scams. I get the text message of, oh, this is the USPS. We're trying to deliver a package. It's undeliverable. Please click this link. It's like, no.
Well, let's talk about the text for a little bit here, too. So we are talking about real estate scams. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am Sharon McNamara, the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate here south of Boston. And I am with Melissa. She is our everything here. And you want to talk about having a team player. I feel like sometimes if we were to play football, we would definitely be Tom Brady and Gronk for sure because you catch every one of those balls for me. And I just want to publicly say I appreciate you and everything that you have done for me the last couple of weeks while Mary, we want her to have an extended maternity leave for sure. It just came a little sooner than we expected. So thank you. I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Okay, great.
Anything for you.
That's over. But the scams, I feel bad when this happens too, when we've had conversations with the agent, but it's so easy for people to, once they get a rhythm and they sort of figure it out, and I guess it's easy to scam real estate agents, or maybe it's in every industry, but I know a lot of our agents will send me an email. Did you really send me an email, a text message? The answer is no, I did not. And this does happen. So agents, I love when my joy is when they send the text to me or Mark.
Yeah.
Right? I love when they send it to me or Mark because then I just follow along. And they'll say, hi, this is Sharon. Are you busy? And then the agent in our office isn't sure. They don't recognize my number, but they're not sure if I have a new number. So they're like, no, what's up? And then they'll say, oh, I'm at a closing right now. I forgot to get a gift. Would you mind going and getting me some gift cards?
Yeah.
And then, people do question it, you know what I mean? And, for the most part, we do talk about that stuff around here, around the office. So nobody does follow suit with, going ahead with that. But it's one of those scams that people will do. I know that people do that to seniors a lot as well.
Yeah. Well, so it's funny because here, when Mary and Sam were about to have their baby, it was a little bit after their baby shower, we, collected some money and we wanted to buy a really nice gift card for them or any last minute things that they still needed. I think it was an Amazon gift card. And, just last minute things that you didn't get at your baby shower or things that you thought about afterwards. So, as an office, we wanted to do that for the gift. And I collected all the money and I went over to CVS and I got a pretty hefty, or tried to get a pretty hefty Amazon gift card. And, as soon as I told them how much I wanted on it, they were like, "Do you know who you're purchasing this for?" And I said, "Yes, it's for my friends. They're having a baby." And she said something else, and I go, "No, I appreciate your questioning. I work across the street, and we're putting together this gift for them." I go, I totally appreciate it. She goes, "You have no idea how many people I stop for scams." And I was like, "Well, I appreciate you stopping all that." But yeah, a lot of the times, especially, at Christmas time and all these things, like I don't use the self-checkout when I do the gift cards and stuff because I get a little wonky about it. I always like to see a person. First off, when I love Target, but I don't work at Target. Okay. And, no offense to anybody who works at Target. I want to be able to give you something, to do in the checkout line. I don't want to check out my own stuff. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't.
That's another story.
That's another story for another day. Maybe wine instead of coffee. But I, buying the gift cards, you always, I sort of like getting the questions like, "Oh, do you know who you're purchasing this gift card for?" And all that stuff, because it does give that little extra security, because there are, not even just seniors, but anybody could get that. "Oh, what was it? Like, oh, it's your granddaughter or grandson or something, and they're in jail." And there was like something going on, that one scam going on. It was like, "Oh, you have to send money to this to bail them out, but you have to send it to this like account, wire money to this account." And there were people falling for that.
When you were talking about the CVS, I was in there recently and I was talking to the person behind the register as well, and something came up about a scam, and she said just that morning she had stopped something with a senior. A senior had come in and was having a hard time doing it, and they thought for sure that they were helping, get their kid out of prison. So, or their
prison,
whatever,
so
jail. I know, I'm so dramatic this morning.
Get them out of prison.
Yeah. I forgot to give the phone number earlier, 781-837-4900, if you want to call us. It can be about this topic or any other topic regarding real estate. You can be watching us as Dee is. I don't know if we have any other people that are on Facebook or Instagram or anything. And if you have any questions for us, you can send us a little message, because we can see that on our board. I also have my friends, I haven't done this in a while, over in Clubhouse. Apparently they can hear me now, but I'm not sure if they can hear me. So Megan, can you do me a favor? Can you unmic for a sec?
Good morning from Long Island. We absolutely can hear you.
All right. You can hear us, but we can't hear you. Unfortunately, I can only hear you on my phone and not through my system. So I'm gonna put you guys on hold, because I was gonna have them chime in, but for some reason or another, they're not going through the system. So
it's Andy.
Nope, not on Facebook either. Well, yeah, you can send us messages on Facebook.
Yeah. So just going through some of the common real estate scams. So we did talk about wire fraud in home sales. I will also want to talk about fake real estate agents and fake sellers and fake buyers, because that happens too.
Yeah.
What was it? There was something that happened that somebody had reached out to you and maybe another agent in the office and said, "Oh, I own land somewhere in Pembroke, and I want to, and I want to sell it
in the next life."
Oh, yeah. Too bad there's not a Melissa Wallace detective. I would have switched lives with that one, but. Yeah, there was somebody had reached out. Did they reach out to the other agent first and then you, or you guys at the same time? You first. Okay. So somebody had sent Sharon an email and said, "Hi, I'm so and so. I own land on such and such a road here in Pembroke. I'm really thinking about selling. I'd love to, sell the land, blah blah blah, as is. I just, essentially want quick money for it."
Yeah, that was an email. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you communicate it back and forth a little bit, because we get emails like that. Like, we get people who say, "Hey, I have a house to sell. Can you sell my house?" Absolutely. Like, that's the business that we're in.
Well,
so
that's what I do.
there wasn't really anything at first, like, sort
Well,
of.
you know what was interesting about it is, what are the chances that a scam artist is going to send me an email about land that they want to sell, and I know the real owner of the land, and it's 4 houses away from mine? That freaked me out a little bit, but then I thought, no, this is a coincidence, because if it was a scam artist, they would have been a little smarter than that, right? So, because I was like, oh my gosh, are these people like geolocating me, or what the heck is going on here? And they found out where I live, which is another freaky thing. We could do that, keeping agents safe in, wherever, when they're doing open houses and stuff. But so the land, I actually knew who the owner was based on the address. So I called them, and it's one of my neighbors. In fact, this is funny. They moved into their neighborhood probably before us. So we moved in 92, and so they have a cul-de-sac off of our street. And then we moved in 92. They moved in before us. So let's just say in the 90s, but they grew up in the area. And oddly, I'll just say the name, Scotty Noyes. He's a good friend. He's a good neighbor. He's great. And his wife, Laurie, adorable. In fact, their dog won 3rd prize in our dog contest.
They did. I just sent them their gift card.
Yeah. Mark and Scotty were born on the same exact day in the same exact hospital. Talk about coincidence. All right.
Wow.
Anyways, enough of that. So, I reached out to Scotty, and I was like, hey, I got this email saying that you and your brother want to sell that lot. I know that there is nothing in you that would ever want to sell that lot, because it's right next to his house. You know what I mean? So I knew that he really wouldn't want to do that. And he's like, no, that is not true. And I said, all right, well, if I were you, I would take next steps, and you should go to the registry and make sure that there's some type of a lock put on your deed. And I don't know. And that's why I really do wish that my clubhouse was working right now, because I have a feeling like Anna had a situation like this one time. So Anna is listening here. And I feel like she had a situation like that had happened, or somebody did. And there is a way to protect, your deed and everything. So I don't even trust those like your commercials, like Secure Lock and all these other places.
Yeah.
But what these people were trying to do is sell the lot. And they're like, oh, can you send me a copy of the deed? I lost my deed. I live in California. My house burnt down. I lost all my documents. Is there any chance that you can go to the registry, get me the deed? And then, when we sell it, I'll sign it over to the new person, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no.
It's so weird.
So we have a really good track record, by the way.
Yeah, we say no.
I know. You really should be a detective, though.
We say no.
Yeah.
I know. One of my favorite things is when I find, you really do have a home sale contingency. You really do have a home sale contingency, by the way.
The other one, the rental scams, right?
Yes. So I wanted you to talk about the rental scam.
Yeah.
So this is really important. And this is a question that we get sometimes as well. So you sell your home, and sort of what you put out on the internet is sort of there forever. And, that's the good and bad thing about the internet. And, once you sell your home, all those pictures sort of stay up there. So a lot is, sometimes we do get the question of, hey, you sold my house, or I bought a house, and, and is there any way you can take the pictures down from Zillow? That's not us, unfortunately. We can reach out to Zillow, and it's up to them to take them down. We put them in MLS. We can take them out of MLS. But once they're already syndicated, that's sort of where they live.
That's why they tell people don't put nudies out anywhere. You never get that down.
Don't put nudies out. Yeah.
And you can't get a nudie down. We can't get pictures of houses down off of Zillow.
Well, we never put pictures of kids' rooms either.
No,
ever, ever, ever. That's just something that we don't do across the board. But getting back to pictures, it would be easy for somebody to take those pictures and potentially create some sort of listing and say that they're either renting this house or, it's for rent, a house or a condo, or selling. And that is something that happened a couple years ago. And Sharon, you were interviewed by somebody. I don't remember who it was. It was some news.
It was a news station.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
I think
news
it was like
station
Channel
that
5.
came here and was asking you all these questions. So why don't you go through that story and how they sort of almost scammed, or they did get money. They did get some money from people.
They did get money from some people. So what ended up happening is it was, again, another coincidence, but that's how life works in my eyes. So I had a listing at one time, and it was a condo. It was close to the highway, really convenient to the highway. So anybody that was going to be commuting to, Boston, it was would have been very appealing to them. And I then, so the house sold, and it was maybe a few months later, I got a call from one of my other past clients, and we sold her house in Pembroke, and then she moved down to the Cape, but she thought it would be nice to have something here because the kids were here and just commuting and stuff, that if she had like a little rental as well here in town still, that she would be able to commute. So she said, hey, can you tell me a little bit about this rental? So she sent it to me, and I was like, where did you get this? And she said that she got it, I think, on Craigslist, right? And I said, well, number one, a single woman shouldn't be looking for rentals on Craigslist, period. Amen. That's just how I feel about it, right? There might be some good ones out there, but for the most part, I would say don't do that, okay? And I said, that's interesting. And I was like, this was my listing. And she didn't call me because she even knew that. Yeah. She didn't even know that.
She was already your client.
Yeah.
You already had a relationship with her. And she just happened to send you a condo that you had already sold to somebody else.
Yeah. And it was just a rental. You know what I mean? Like, so she had no idea. And I was just like, wow, this is really interesting. So I started doing a little investigating. And I called the owner of the house, of that condo, because oddly, the person who bought it through us. So we sold it. She bought it through us. So I actually gave her a call, and I knew that she was a snowbird, right? She no longer owns that property, by the way. So she was a snowbird. So I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, Di, like, are you renting your place up in Pembroke? She's like, no, why? And she's like, I'm going to be coming back soon, actually. And I was like, well, we might have a little problem here. So I told her what was happening, and she's like, oh my gosh. She goes, that's like frightening. And then got in touch with the neighbor. And I guess the neighbor had said that a lot of cars had been stopping and like knocking on the door and things like that to like, I guess, see the rental. The scam was too that they said, oh, I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm happy to show you the rental listing. You can just meet me at the house, and I'll need a deposit, first month deposit or whatever. And I'll meet you at the house. And then what they do is they call and say, oh, I got a flat tire. I'm not able to make it. Why don't you just
There's a lot of people who are interested in the unit. If you want it, you have to put in a deposit.
Yeah, and just transfer it to me. And a lot of people were falling for that. In fact, we were getting calls at the office, and people were really upset. They're like, I gave a deposit, and you gave that rental to somebody else. And I was like, I'm sorry, because they were able to track it back, like the address, and then saw that it was something that we sold. And I was like, that was not us. Like, that was...
And I think we got a couple calls too of saying, hey, I'm just looking to look at this rental in Pembroke. And I remember saying, I just want to let you know that that's a scam. That's something that we've been aware of. But that is not a property that is for rent. And they're like, wow, oh my God, really? And we're just like, yeah, we got to take those down. And like apartments.com and like all those things, like some of those things, that's why it's so important to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Talk to call even a real estate company or call an agency or something and just say, hey, I feel a little, I'm interested in this. I'm feeling a little uneasy about it. Can you just walk me through the process and see if this is sort of the right way to go about it? And I mean, we are here to help you. So even if we weren't working with you, we are able to say, that process is not right. You know, you should be really, you know, working directly with somebody who you know owns that property, or working with an agent that could do the investigation for you.
And also, I just want to put out there, if it looks too good to be true, guess
is.
what?
Yeah.
There's a couple of those sort of analogies or whatever that is called, right? That people say, like, there's one that says there is no stupid question. I think that's wrong. I think there are. I think there are stupid questions
for
but,
sure.
Yeah, but for this, like, if something seems too good to be true,
Yeah.
it is. Like
Yeah.
that. There's no getting around that,
Yeah.
right? But there are stupid questions, just so you know.
Just so you know.
I mean, don't feel intimidated when you're with me. I mean, for the most part, people don't ask me stupid questions because
Yeah.
I'm, whatever. You can ask me a stupid question. I don't care.
Yeah, ask her whatever questions you want.
Ask me
I
any
guess is what
questions
you're
you
saying.
want.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So we only have a few minutes left. This is generally when somebody will call in. 781-837-4900. You can also text a message to Tim. He is in the studio and he can get your question to us. 781-837-4900. I'm not sure if we have other people on Facebook and Instagram and things like that, YouTube. If you are on any of those, if you could do us a favor, just so we can sort of check what we have going on here, can you just send us a little hello, type us a hello, so we can see who is out there and to make sure that our StreamYard is working properly? That would be great. So there we go. Wire frauds, we talked about that, right? Oh, so these are some things too for national resources. I'm glad that you put this in here, but people can call the Federal Trade Commission if they feel as if they've been scammed. They can go to the ftc.gov. They can report scams. I reported a scam recently. Oh, it was that one. It was the one with the land that I reported.
Oh, yeah?
I reported that one.
Where did you report that?
I ended up calling one of my past clients. He's the state police. He's in the state police, and he was like one of the captains, or he was something or other, or still is. So I just reached out to him and said, like, how do you think I should handle this situation? And he said just to call. He actually said to just call the FBI, and they have like a line.
Oh wow!
So I did. So that's what I did. Yeah,
that's what you did.
Yeah. I know you're looking for our open houses for this weekend, and no promises here. So one of my past clients, and I'll call her a friend, is Ann Jolis, and she is the creator of the Grace Trail, and I've had her on my radio show in the past, and I'm sure.
I love the Grace Trail.
Yes, right? Who doesn't love the Grace Trail?
If you haven't been down, it's in Plymouth on the waterfront. It starts at Nelson Park, and it brings you all the way back behind Cordage Park, at least. It goes beyond there. It's a really nice walk, and you're near the shore. And
yeah, it's awesome. So like you reflect, like you go through this whole process, and she has the big boulders and everything that are included in it now. And so Grace stands for, I know I don't want to mess it up. So it's like gratitude and release, right? She has a bunch. Every letter means something. I saw her on Channel 5 News this morning, but I thought that might be nice for us to do next Saturday. Again, no promises, people, but I am going to try to get Angelis to join us. She is actually an author as well, and has a couple of books out there, which I have purchased. She also has the Grace Trail that you can purchase. So I'm sure you can go. Actually, can you Google to see?
I can tell you what that Grace stands for. I found it. Go to
Perfect.
gracetrail.com is the website. Gratitude, release, acceptance, challenge, and embrace.
Perfect. Yes. And so we're going to try to get Ann on with us next week. Again, this was a thought that I had about half hour ago. So maybe more, an hour ago. So we will try to do that just in time for Thanksgiving. But you want to tell everybody about our open houses this weekend?
Yeah, open houses this weekend. So Sharon and Mary have two developments, new construction developments that they host open houses at every single Saturday and Sunday. There is Cushing Trails in Hanson. That is every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 12. I believe Faith is going to be there today. So stop by and say hi to Faith.
And Sue Bollinger will be there tomorrow.
Sue Bollinger will be there tomorrow. And then Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater. That is every single Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2. And Kristen Howlett will be there both days. And then Ginny Wandell has a brand new listing at 82 Lake Drive in Plymouth. That's a great ranch located, again, at 82 Lake Drive, Plymouth. She will be there tomorrow, 11 to 1. It is on the market for $425.
Yeah, and we have an array of prices throughout both of our subdivisions. And don't think Sharon doesn't work on weekends, because I do. The reason why I'm not doing open houses this weekend at either of the developments is because We have, I think, I have like 6 reservations right now between the 2 developments, and I have pre-selections all weekend that I'm going to be working on with people. So I know that Mary has done several a show with you regarding new construction in that process, and I'm happy to do another show on that as well. So that's where I've been in the trenches with that. And it's actually been a lot of fun. So all these people that we've mentioned, Faith Birmingham, Susan Bollinger, and Kristen Howlett have been helping us a lot lately. And of course, they're all full-time real estate agents here at Boston Connect Real Estate. So I appreciate their help, and all the other agents who have stepped up and said, "Hey, what can we do to help you?" Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And I have a call today at 11 with one of Mary's buyers, getting right back into the trenches as well. So
Exactly.
be excited for them. But yeah, it's an exciting weekend. It must be so interesting to see what people choose in the selections meeting. Is it interesting?
It is interesting. You should ask Faith that question. I had Faith down there. Well, it's interesting to know. One of the things I love about new construction is as you go in to everybody's home, the layout is the same, but every house looks different. And I think that is so exciting.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. We have
is.
Andy the fish guy downstairs, right?
Yeah,
Taking
making sure
care of the
everybody's
fish.
healthy.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody had to be healthy down there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy the fish guy.
Thank you.
Just give him a shout out. And thank you to everybody for joining us this morning. You can listen to all of our past shows, of course, on our podcast, which is Talk Real Estate Roundtable, or talkrealestateroundtable.com will get you there. Go to your podcast. You can even ask Alexa to get you there, right?
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, BostonConnect.com for all
YouTube.
of our contact information as well.
Yeah, go to YouTube as well. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Bye, Tim. Have a great day.
Bye, you too.
Have a good round of golf.
Oh, thank you. 4.